Yo, what up guys, and today I'm going to be talking about the secret floor and the ignition weapon sets. So if you go over to the expedition tab, and when you reach, I believe it is floor like 16, you get the secret floor. And in the secret floor you have all these sets, which can make your character a lot stronger. So I'm going to go over each set with you guys, and I'm going to tell you what set to use on which characters. So let's start with the first one. So in this, or when you clear this one, you get the Myeongwol set and the Bergamot set. The Myeongwol set, let's see where I can see that. I believe it is here. Yeah. So it increases when you have two pieces. The wielder's defense increases by 40% until the end of the battle. So, as you can imagine, this is used for tanks or some warrior units, but mostly this is used for tanks or people that need to survive and take a lot of damage. And upon a successful provocation, 30% of the wielder's max HP is restored, and physical resistance and magic resistance are increased by 8% until the end of battle. And this can reach 5 stacks. So this is a very specific set for a specific type of unit. So if you go over to the character tab, this set is mostly used for people like Rock, because he has a provocation in his kit. Escanor has a provocation in his kit. Anak has a provocation in her kit. Yeah, so if you look at people's kits, so for example, you have Escanor, mostly in their skill, but it can also be in their passive. When you see they can provoke enemies, so crit hit resistance increased by 40% while provoking enemies, so he can provoke enemies. That's when the Myeongwol set is really, really good, because it gives more stats than, let's see, than the Sela set, if you can provoke people consistently. So, but otherwise the Sela set is better, because that gives magical and physical resist, unconditional of provoking. So that's for the Myeongwol set. That's only for a few specific units, like the Escanor, like the Anak, like the Awakened Wreck, like those kinds of people that have a provoke in their kit. But then you also have the Bergamot set. I personally use this on like Hwaryun, mostly Hwaryun, but I'm noticing I don't use this set very often anymore. It is pretty good, because what it does, it gives lifesteal. So lifesteal increased by 20% until the end of the battle. But I think lifesteal is a bit underwhelming at the moment with when you can also have like physical resist and magic resist, which in my opinion is a lot better. So I personally don't use this set anymore, or I use it, but just because I happen to farm for the Myeongwol set. So I have this in, I have a lot of the Bergamot set as well. So that's why I use it. But if I would advise you to farm for anything in particular, I would advise you to farm for this set, because not only is L really, really good for a lot of characters, but Runda is actually probably the best for support characters. So the L set, in general, it's just for DPSs. It increases the attack speed by 20 until the end of battle. And if the wielder avoids getting hit for 5 seconds, their attack increases by 50% and their attack speed increases by 30 until they are hit. So the L is really good for like who has like invisibility frames. So he doesn't get hit very often in the beginning. But this set works on pretty much any DPS, really. So I can show you guys. I use this for my Ren. I use this for my Ren. I use this for my where is he? I use this for my Viol. I currently don't have a lot, but That's why I have my one set on rec, I think. Yeah, compressed rec, I use L. So almost every DPS I use has the L one. And the same one goes for Runda. So at the moment, I think I have Runda on, let's see, where was it? I think I have it on Bomb and Evan. So if you go to Evan, yeah, I have Runda on Evan and also on my Bomb. Where is he? Yeah, there is he. There he is. And what Runda does, that's actually, I think it's really bonkers and really, really amazing. So the two-piece set gives the wielder a 20% increase in their max HP until the end of battle, which is pretty decent, but not that amazing. But the four set, that's where this ignition weapon really, really shines. Because Runda's barriers is granted to all allies in the same row as the wielder at the start of the battle. You might be thinking to yourself, what is Runda's barrier? The barrier is equal to 200% of the wielder's attack. So let's say, for example, you have Kaiser, who is pretty squishy in the beginning. If you have Runda, if you have a support with Runda on the same row, then they get an immediate shield, so she dies less often by like assassins, or when you have Kunadan on the other team, he bangs his spear on the ground, and you might just survive because of Runda. But the same goes for your front line, because Runda's barriers last for 10 seconds, increasing the allies' defense by 50%. And who benefits from defense? Well, your frontliners. And restoring their energy by 50 every second. Well, everyone benefits from that, but the defense increase by 50% is really good, not only for the user, but also for the people that you have in the front line. So if you go to like adventure, and as you can see, I have two tanks who have a particular set, and then I have Bum, who has the Runda set, because he will give a 200% attack shield to these two. And I also have him on Runda, Evan, because compressed rec will also get a shield and die less often. So I think Runda is a really good set, and I would advise you to farm this ignition weapon as of now. The one I also wanted to mention is the ignition weapon Sundance and Sela, because why I advise you guys to go for this one and this one is because these ignition weapon duos, these are both good. As the same with L and Runda. But with Doris and Raihanna, like Doris is pretty good for support, but Raihanna is a bit underwhelming, and you want to get the most out of your farms. So I think you should go for the ones that give you the most, which is L, Runda, and Sundance and Sela. Same with Abgrund and Idea. Idea is pretty good. Abgrund, not really that good. And you can also farm for Myeongwol if you have someone that provokes enemies. But this one I wanted to light out for you guys or I wanted to speak on, because Sundance, I just said I use almost on all my DPS I use L, but the same goes for Sundance, because Sundance, what it does, it is really, really good. Sundance increases the wielder's attack by 30 until the end of battle, which is already really good, because then your attacks will hit more often. And the 4 set is what really, really, really good, because with Sundance protection, the wielder's basic attack ignores 20% of the target's defense and deals 200% of their attack as additional damage. So as you can imagine, the people who benefit the most from the Sundance set are people who use their basic attack most often. So those are people like Kaiser, for example. Her whole kit is based around her basic attack and her basic attack pierce. But the same goes for, where is he? Joaquin, where is he? Yeah, Joaquin. He also uses Sonnens, because the defense down makes it so he kills enemies a lot faster, and that will inevitably also increases survivability. But I would advise you to give most of your DPSs, even though you might think you want to build crit damage and crit rate, or crit damage and magic pairs or physical pairs, I would advise you to go for magic resist and physical resist, because with a lot of characters, the survivability is what makes them weak, or what makes them look weak. So, for example, if you have Hoakim might look weak because he doesn't have the survivability. But when he goes into the state that he teleports around the map or around the area, that's when he really shines. But he needs to perform that action, and to let him perform that action, you have to build him with magic resist and physical resist. So if you go over to my Hoakim, he has 100% physical resist and 80% magic resist. So he can survive really, really long before he dies. But that's just a quick side note. You can do with it whatever you want. And the Sela set I use on almost, like I use Sela and Myeongwol on my warrior units, on my tanks. Because what Sela does, it increases the wielder's defense by 20% until the end of battle, which, as you can see, is 20% less than what the 2 set of Myeongwol gives you. So that's not why you want to go for Sela. But the thing is, the 4-piece set of Sela gives the wielders physical resist and magic resist by 6% for each surviving enemy other than summoned beings. The wielders recovers 20% of their max HP with Sela red flowers every time an enemy dies. So you not only you start off with, of course, there are 5 enemies, so you start off with 30% magic and physical resist, which makes them insanely tanky. And there's nothing required for it. You don't have to provocate, you don't have to do anything. And when an enemy dies, you get 6% less physical and magic resist. But what you do get is a 20% increase or 20% recovery of your max HP. So you trade in magical and physical resist for more HP. So I think this set is really, really good. And that's why I also use it on most of my characters. Like if you go to my Huts, he uses Sela. What else? Who else? I don't have the set on him. Oh, I do. I don't have it upgraded yet, but Uruk also uses Sela. Who else? Yeah, but almost every warrior and tank unit uses Sela or Myeongwol. And I will quickly go over with the Doris set with you guys and the Raihanna set, so you can see what I meant by that. The sets are not really that good together, so I won't advise you to invest in them. Doris is actually really, really good, because what Doris does, it increases the wielder's swiftness by 10 until the end of battle. So if you don't know what swiftness does, it basically decreases the amount of time your characters need to perform their skill. So with Bomb, you have that he stops people in their track and freezes time for a short period. And what this also does, it gives a barrier. So Doris grants a barrier equal to 200% of her wielder's attack to all of their allies in the back row for 10 seconds at the start of the battle, increasing the wielder's swiftness by 20 while their barrier is active. So what you could also do is have one character with Doris and one character with Runda, and have them in the front row. So Runda gives shield to the one with the Doris set, and the other tank in the front line, and Doris gives unconditionally your back row the same amount of shield that Runda does, but it gives it to the back line. So then all of your team has a shield, which is pretty good. So this set is really, really good, but it is more the Raihanna set that makes it that I don't advise you to farm for this. Because if you look at Raihanna, the wheel's attack increased by 20% until the end of the battle. pretty standard, not really that good. Raihanna's Ambition activates when the wielder enters battle and remains until the first attack lands. Ambition grants the wielder's immunity to status effects, and the wielder's next attack is guaranteed to land with a 300% increase to their attack. The target is then silenced for 3 seconds. Additionally, the wielder becomes immune for status effects for 2 seconds when the Ambition effect ends. The only reason why this isn't good is because most fights last pretty long. The enemies survive a really long time because of their because the power difference you eventually will get to. And this force set only works for like 5 seconds at best. So after 5 seconds, you don't have anything on this force. You don't get any benefit from this force set. You only get a 20% increase in your attack. While the L set, for example, gives you an attack increase by 50% if your character doesn't get hit for 5% or for 5 seconds. So that will last to the end of the battle, which is what you want in a ignition weapon set. You want it to last to the end of the battle. So that's why I won't advise you to go for this one and more for the L and the Runda set or the Sundance and Sela set. And the same goes for Abgrund. I'll go over it really soon. This is for your assassins. It's purely assassin, this one. The wielder's critical damage increase rate increased by 30%, and the wielder recovers HP equal to 300% of their attack every second while concealed. So concealment, mostly your assassins are concealed. And when revealed, the wielder's critical hit rate increases by 50% for 8 seconds. It's not really that bad for your assassins. Honestly, I would say Abgrund is probably the best for most assassins, like Kaseya or something. And Idea is actually pretty good, because the wielder's effect resistance increases by 65 till the end of the battle, and effect resist is really good. So that makes it so your characters don't get effect resistance makes it so your characters don't get provoked or don't get feared. Those are effects, and they can resist it much better. And when the wielder uses their special move for the first time, all of ID's support modules activate and restore the wielder's energy by 500. That's basically get another ult. So the only downside is that you only get this one time, so only the first time and not the second time, third time, etc., etc. So that's the only downside I see to this set. So this is actually pretty good. The only problem is that this only lasts one time, and this one, assassins, we don't have a lot of assassins, I must say. We have a lot of damage dealers who can benefit from L and Sundance, but not really that much assassins at the moment. So as a summary, I would say you should go for L and Runda. So you should farm the ignition weapon L Runda, the ignition weapon Sun and Sela, because these four are, in my opinion, the best at the moment for the most characters. Then I would say you should farm for the ignition weapon Myeongwol and Bergamot, especially for Myeongwol, because Myeongwol works really good on tanks who have a provocation. Then I would say you should go for Doris Raihanna, not because of Raihanna, but only because of Doris. This is really good. It is like Runda, but only for the backline. So also really good. And Abgrund and Idea. Idea is really good because it gives effect resistance, but only works one time. And Abgrund is mostly used for your assassins. But some of the assassins even use Sundance, so because it gives defense reduction. So this one is the last one I would focus on. So first get really good sets from Sundance, Sela, L, and Runda. Yeah, that was basically it for today's video. If you didn't know, I'm also gonna be going over you guys just before the update that is happening on, I believe it is Wednesday or Thursday. I'm gonna make a video about that, where there is gonna be a new SSR and a new SSR Plus character. And of course, I don't know if you already knew it, but on the 25th, I believe, of September, we get a really cool unit. That is Traumaray. And Traumaray has a new rarity. So he has a Ascendance, I believe it is called, which is new rarity, so above SSR Plus. and he's going to be a green. I think he's going to be a green support, and people are speculating that he's going to be a buffer of summons. So Ren will really benefit because he summons a bull. But enough of that. I'm gonna be going over that with you guys just before the updates, and I'm also gonna and there's also gonna be a max limit SSR plus max limit break event, and I'm also gonna be giving you guys my opinion on that, which units you should go for. I'm gonna be making a video about that, and if you have any questions related to Tower of God at all, or you want to talk about any other stuff that you like games or something, you can always join my Discord. I will leave the Discord link in the description down below, or in the description. And if you have any questions or you have tips for me, just say them in the comments. And yeah, that's basically it. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.